All right, what's the format of this, man? What do I need to know?
Oh, we're live. You don't need to know too much.
Oh, for real?
It's very simple. I'm gonna do an intro right now, and
We
then
are
we're gonna
live,
move
though?
into.
We're live right now, though?
Yeah, we are live.
Yes.
But this is, this
Oh,
is
very
real.
good.
This is how we know. This is all very spontaneous, and very raw.
Thanks for putting me on the spot, man. I was about to fucking talk about all sorts of issues I have personally, but
Well, we can do that too.
no, good.
We're an open format. We're not a showcase, so we have fewer restrictions than you do generally. What's going down? My name is DJ Payne One. You've tuned into the new standard, the DIY new industry web show. We got my man Shah, aka Mr. Get Your Buzz Up, my co-host, and we have a very special guest by the name of Mike Trampe, and I'll get to him in one short second. But the topic today is online music marketing, specifically blogs and websites. And fortunately, we have two gentlemen on with us right now, Shah and Mike Trampe, that both run websites and both are experienced in marketing, whereas I'm not. So believe it or not, I'm going to do a lot less talking than I normally do, and mostly just ask questions. And here we go. It's funny because Mike Trampe, in addition to running MikeTrampeTV.com, also runs the Coast to Coast Live online showcases, and those are showcases that I'm usually a guest judge for. So he usually controls the mic, and I'm the one that heckles him. And today it's the other way around. And this topic, aside from being incredibly relevant and practical for a lot of artists, is one that came out of a lot of frustration, and specifically a lot of conversations I've had with Shah and Mike to some extent about artists, rappers, producers, singers, managers, labels, and their expectations from their online marketing campaigns, especially when you got to spend some money on your online marketing. And what I always say is either you're investing a whole lot of time or probably more money than you would like, normally both, to start really gaining some traction online with your music, with these blogs and websites. And when I say time, I'm talking about years, not weeks. And when I'm talking about money, I'm talking about thousands, not tens. And first, I just kind of want to have a discussion, the three of us, about some of the things we've experienced and just what to expect as an artist who really wants to cross that line into serious independent music marketing online, because it may not always be what you think it is. But before we go into that, you know who Shah is, Mr. Get Your Buzz Up, runs GetYourBuzzUp.com. You might not know who Mike Trampe is, or you do know who Mike Trampe is, but you still want me to introduce him. Mike Trampe from MikeTrampeTV, HipHopDX.com, Coast to Coast Live. What's going down, sir?
What up, what up, what up? Appreciate you having me on, sir. It's kind of a different feeling being on the opposite side of the mic, but it's all good. I'm here to, drop some knowledge. Hopefully I can help somebody.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day. I gotta get, I was given resources and information when I was coming up, and I want to put my my dues back and give them back to the people. So,
well, give the people a rundown of what you do specifically and how long you've been doing it.
I've been in music since I was 13. I started out as a DJ. I've done everything from produce, owned studios, rapped. I've pretty much done all of it, but about 7 years ago, I started interning with HipHopDX. I just strolled around across the site, put in a internship, whatever you want to call it, resume. Started working with them. Eventually, I was hired after about 2 or 3 months part-time. Worked part-time for a couple months, and I was offered a full-time job. Right around that time, maybe like a year and a half later, I started working with TDE. J-Rock was the main artist they were pushing. I believe he was signed to Warner at that time when he had the song with Lil Wayne and will.i.am come out. Kendrick was really not a factor. He was still K-Dot. But I had the pleasure of working with Punch and a girl named Jen who was over there years ago. And right when that kind of was transitioning and they really started taking off, I transitioned, and then I took on DX marketing and social media full-time because the head guy ended up leaving. So started from there, and basically, I started all the social media for DX. Like I started their Facebook page, I started their Twitter page, started their Instagram. So anything you see, if you go to any of the social media, is basically what I created over the last I'd probably say 5.5, 6 years. Because when I first started, we weren't really doing a lot of that stuff. We were doing more MySpace and different forums and stuff. It was still that shit was still popping. So, but yeah, we just cracked 800,000 likes on Facebook. But at the end of the day, likes on Facebook don't really mean anything. You can have 1 million likes, but only have 1,000 people talking about you. And if you look at our page, we have 800,000 plus likes, but we have almost 2 million people talking about us. So that's the name of the game. I consider myself the best marketing and social media online person that is in the whole industry of hip hop, and I think music in general. And I don't know, that's what I'm proud of. So yeah, not to ramble on, but that's kind of how I started doing that over the years. I started a company called MAAD Management. MAAD Management stands for Music Artists and Distribution. It started out as a content blog. It recently just got redone. It is strictly focusing on social media, blog outreach, marketing, music consulting, producer management. I also have MikeTrampeTV.com. Recently started about 6 months ago. It's been doing pretty well. It's kind of just a blog to post whatever the hell we want to post. I have no restrictions. I have nobody tell me what I can and cannot post besides Google AdSense, because I posted nudity before and I lost my account, but I got it back, so it's all good.
You actually got an AdSense account back.
Yes.
That's a miracle, because that doesn't happen.
Yes. Pretty crazy. So yeah, it was actually an old video, a Jay-Z and Luke video where the two girls were going at it. Yeah, that's what it was. But anyway,
all of us are nodding like, yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah, so I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, man. I don't want to ramble on, but I'm just trying to give you a rundown. Obviously, Coast to Coast Live. I've known Coast to Coast for 6 years. I've been hosting their online shows for almost 2 years now. Always participate in their conventions and go down and speak to the people. Yeah, I've worked with a lot. I've had a lot of other clients, man, for marketing stuff. I mean, I've worked with a great beat site called BeatStars.com. I just wrapped up a great 6-month run with them with their social media. It's doing great. Abe, who runs that company, is a great guy. Yeah, what I'm trying to think what else. I've done shit for Hot Pockets and Snoop Dogg, New Zealand Airlines, Ford Explorer, Nelly, Jay-Z. I got some big stuff in the works coming up. Can't really talk about it. Signing the contracts this week, hopefully. So yeah, man, that's I does this.
So yeah, in a nutshell, Mike Trampe knows what he's talking about when it comes to online marketing. So we're lucky to have him here. Enough gassing up Mike Trampe, though.
Yeah, I had to. I never get to give a full intro when I'm doing the online shows. I always am real quick, so I had to give my best Rob impersonation.
Okay, well, our first video comes from Zilla G.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
That's a Coast to Coast Live joke. Let's get right into the discussion. So, here's a question for artists, independent artists, to ask themselves as they start transitioning into really becoming career musicians, because we know marketing is a necessity when it comes to actually having a career in music. But a lot of us don't necessarily know how much it's going to cost. And when I worked in mix show radio for a good 5 years, and I was constantly surprised at, number one, artists thinking they could pay their way into airplay, which is illegal and has been since, I believe, the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
But also the idea that they could pay a couple hundred to a couple thousand for crazy radio campaigns, national radio campaigns in major markets. And unfortunately, that's not true. So this is just a quick reality check before we move on, just to kind of get a reference point on when we talk about music marketing, especially for these major label artists.
Mm-hmm.
The number that I was seeing, because I would ask, I was curious. I wanted to learn back then. I still do, but I'm not in radio anymore. So the guys that would service the big records to me, the Pitbulls and the Lil Waynes and whatnot, I would ask them what their prices were for those campaigns, and it was usually $25,000 to $30,000.
So what? Service the records?
I mean, ad campaigns, yeah, radio campaigns.
Okay.
And we're talking about major campaigns, #1 records, the kind of thing that most artists think they're going to get regardless. And there are a million different companies out there that advertise radio campaigns, and they're really inexpensive. And I'm always, I think everyone should be naturally skeptical before they're about to spend a whole bunch of money on their marketing,
Absolutely.
and research the companies that are making all these claims. But when you think about these radio campaigns, $30,000, that's a hell of a starting point. Now, Sha, you have some experience with the college radio campaigns, CMJ. How much do those generally go? I know most people don't talk openly about pricing, but I think it's time we start really attacking this stuff head on.
I mean, to just get on a CMJ chart, or at least get in their databanks, you're going to be looking at anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000, and that's just to get on their stuff so they can start putting you on a list of music that's being fed to radio stations. And so it's almost like the same way as what you were discussing, but a little small. It's on a much smaller level because it's college radio and not commercial radio. So
right, and I guess one of the main differences between college and commercial is that college stations aren't reporting and they're not paying out like commercial radio is.
Yeah.
That's another thing. People expect to get played on college radio or internet radio or something, and they think they're going to get a check in the mail, and that's not how that works either. So, be skeptical when you're being told that a company's offering a low price radio campaign. But let's talk about the blogs and the websites, because that's really where your expertise lies. Now, when it comes to PR and PR campaigns, because correct me if I'm right. I mean, and I know you deal with this all the time, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that, say, for a larger website, and compare and contrast between HipHopDX and MikeTrampeTV,
Mm-hmm.
how the music ends up on either of those websites?
Well, with my personal blog, a lot of people already know me because I have relationships with a lot of people, so it either goes straight to me, or we have a submission email and process that's on the site. Basically breaks down what to submit, how to submit it, and where to submit it. Me and my partner, who helps with the site, Zach, aka Red Hands, we go through all the music. We listen to it all. We make a decision on if it's going to be placed on the site or not, based on a few factors. Obviously, quality. If it's dope or not. I mean, it's really up to us. And like I said, my blog's more about, it's the site. The slogan's my site, my rules. So it's pretty much, it doesn't have to be specifically what I like that's going to get it posted. If I think an audience is out there and I think the person's talented, yeah, they'll still get posted. But obviously, if it's my type of music that I listen to or something that I personally support, it's going to make it a lot easier. So my site's a little bit more simpler. We're pretty young right now. Honestly, my goal isn't to blow my site up and be the next HipHopDX. It's really just a way to let me and my personality and the people I associate myself with who have similar personalities flex our personalities. So that's that. With DX, now we're talking about a whole different monster. DX been in the game 15 years. Biggest hip-hop website in the world. We have over 3.5 million unique readers come to the site every month. You're talking about a business now, right? You're talking about a business that has a staff, that has to pay their staff, that has to pay bills, has to keep food on their table for the family. So, at the end of the day, we don't take money for posts, but if an artist doesn't bring traffic to a site or doesn't help to promote the brand that's going to eventually bring more traffic, it's going to make it a lot tougher for you to get posts. And that's how a lot of the majority of the sites look at it. Yeah, they still probably post a lot of stuff that maybe doesn't do crazy traffic, but they'll probably get weekend posts at night and stuff like that. Usually when traffic is the lowest across all sites, to my knowledge at least. Um, but yeah, I mean, you would have to with DX. It's we have a submission email. Gotta say we get hundreds of emails. It's impossible to listen to every one. So obviously at the end of the day, it's if you know somebody or you build a relationship or there's something like that that's going on, or if Payne One hits me up and says I got this crazy song I produced or this new artist I'm working with and I check it out, like it, and I'll forward it over to the media department and they'll make the decision. So it's a lot different, but I mean the biggest thing is you got to have some type of pool. You can't nowadays. I mean, you just can't have dope music to get on blogs. But honestly, most people who have really dope music and a good brand have fan bases, so they drive traffic. So it kind of goes hand in hand. I've never met somebody who had incredible music, and I was like, oh my god, this person's insane, but they don't get coverage. Like, usually those two go hand in hand. So you're either doing something wrong if you think you have dope music but have no fans. Like, what's the problem? That's probably something you got to look at.
Well, let's talk about PR then, because there are a lot of PR people that I'm sure you know and you receive music from.
Mm-hmm.
And are there a couple that you have good relationships with?
Yeah. There's there. I mean, I'll even put him out by name. It's a guy named Matt Conaway. He works with everybody and their mother. Real good guy. Real. I think I don't want to say pioneer, but real hip hop dude. It's been around for a while, and I've utmost respect for him. And I mean, he's just one that sticks out to me. There's a lot of different, who hits us up? A lot of, not even PRs, a lot of, like, interviewers, like Montreality. They do a lot of crazy, funny interviews up in Montreal, Canada. I'm assuming that's why they're called Montreality. I think they're from Canada. And they actually send their content over. They'll send over the YouTube links for videos or, that's from the news side. When it comes to music, it's a lot of times the artists send it themselves. There's not, I mean, to be honest, there's not a lot of PRs that we receive with open arms, because a lot of these PRs after a while get pretty demanding about stuff at times.
You think that's because they're now accepting money from these artists?
Exactly, and some of them, not all of them. Like I said, the guy Matt Conaway, never with him. He's always has. That's why I like him, because he always has, in my opinion, I think good content. It's my type of hip hop. He works with the same type of artists I would work with personally. But there are some people who you can tell that just work with whoever for whatever type of money, and it's like, at the end of the day, it really lowers their standards, to me at least. And you feel like, I don't know if I can take this guy serious,
And there's no guarantee either. I mean, I think this is a really important point too, because if you end up, let's say, a no-name artist with no fans pays, and do you have any insight into what the average fee is for, let's say, servicing one song to these blogs?
Yeah, I'll give you my fee right now. But the thing with my fee, if I'm gonna work something, that's why you don't see 10 emails a week from me. You might see 2 in a week, but then you might not get one for 2 months. Or you might see 1 a week and then nothing for 3 weeks. And I'm very, very picky. I value my relationships and I value my opinion on music more than anything. Because at the end of the day, as soon as you strip yourself of being a truthful and honest person in the music business, that's when everything goes away, and I feel like shit starts going downhill. So what I would charge, once I get music submitted to me, I will listen to the music, and the thing with me is, too, I won't service mixtapes, LPs, or anything like that, for new artists at least, because let's be honest, there's so much music out there nowadays, the average consumer is not going to take in a whole new project from someone they don't know. I always recommend servicing a single and then the visual to follow. So what I would charge, once I go through the music, I listen to it, I look at their socials, I see what the potential of it being successful, what blogs on my list who I have relationships would probably like this, and then it's kind of like an equation. Like I see, okay, this is a 70% success rate in my opinion. I set a line to where, it's got to be a certain success rate. Then I would send it over and say, here's the price. What I would charge for servicing one single or one video is $300, which I think is actually pretty freaking reasonable, because I've seen a lot of people charge a shitload of money for that type of stuff who don't even have close to the amount of relationships I have, or I think the ear that I have. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, I know people sending it, but then I also know people sending out email blasts. I don't call my stuff that. It's called blog outreach, because what we do is we reach personally out to each blog, plus we follow up with everybody. So a lot of these people are charging $99. Oh, send your song out to 25,000 people. I'm not even gonna front. I probably send my shit out to like 200, but it's 200 people that can make thousands of other people pay attention if it's the right move. I give you a perfect example. I had a guy who submitted his music to MikeTrampeTV a couple weeks ago. Right? We checked out the music. This shit was dope. We really liked it. We're like, yo, this shit is incredible. So we have a standard email that we send out to people when we post their music. Hey, we posted your song here. You know, please support on social, because at the end of the day, we want people to support our site so we can keep supporting them for free. At the bottom of the email, it has a link to MAAD Management. We do all offer different packages. But we also note in that email that we will never, ever charge anyone to have their content placed on our blog. And I will say that forever. I will never charge anybody to place, oh, pay me money, I'll put your shit on my site. No. Because, again, that's lowering my standards. But at the end of the day, music is my business. So if people want that extra push where they want me to reach out and, you know, whatever. So this guy hit us back and said, yo, appreciate you posting it. You know, it's love. He tweeted it, Facebooked it. It was all love. The guy would have sent me another song, I would have posted it because he was that dope. He actually followed up about a week later. He said, hey, you know, I checked out your site. You got a dope little site here. I did some research on you. You know, I really like it. I'm like, yo, man, like, I don't even have to review your stuff. Like, I love your stuff. Like, I was about to hit this guy and be like, yo, like, I want to work with you just on the strength. But no, he paid, and we got him on a ton of different blogs, and it wasn't me paying anybody. It was me hitting up my people that I know and said, yo, this dude is dope. You really need to check him out. And I think the biggest accomplishment out of that is DJ Booth actually premiered it on the homepage as a new artist, and Z hit me up, who runs DJ Booth, and he absolutely loved the records. Like, this dude's so dope, you know.
Yeah, Z hates everything, so that's really big.
Exactly, but that's what I'm talking about, success. And the dude hit me back and I go, thank you so much. It's probably the best money he ever spent, you know. And
well, let me stop you right there. Quick question, and before I ask it, I just want to let all the viewers know that this is an online interactive web show. So if you click on the Q&A tab, you can submit a question to us that we will answer shortly. But before we get to the Q&A portion of the show, I want to ask you, Mike, because it just seems like the perfect point. What are some reasonable expectations in terms of how much a new artist is going to spend on marketing and what they're going to get out of it? Just let's say their music is good, their fan base is low to average, they're just starting out, they're servicing their very first single, they believe in it, and you know they're starting to budget, and they also want to know what to expect, so they're not expecting something crazy, because a lot of artists expect to spend $100 and get on allhiphop.com and HipHopDX. That's not going to happen.
no.
They also expect to get 1 million YouTube views off spending, you know, $200 on some blog marketing. That's not going to happen either. But
Dude, they could spend no money and get on some of these blogs. It
Sure.
just all depends on how knowledgeable they are and what kind of relationships they have in the music business at that time. Like, they could really do their research and try to build relationships. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but there are other ways of, you know, getting your music heard. But for the majority of people, you know, you are going to need some sort of budget to start out. Depending on if you're working, like I said, I would work on servicing the single and then the video to follow. It's always good to have visuals to follow. You have to make sure your social media is in order. People submit me stuff all the time. They have no Facebook. Sometimes they have no Twitters. Nothing. It's just like, I don't know. I don't get it, because it's like this is part of the business. Like, nowadays, you have to have all this stuff in line. Because, like, how are people going to come find you? You don't have a website. Like, what if someone likes your stuff? Like, you only got a Bandcamp. Shit hasn't been updated in 6 months. Like, it's just little things like that. You have to make sure all that stuff is in line before you even start thinking about investing into a marketing campaign. Because at the end of the day, people aren't going to be able to find you, and they're going to be like, this dude is not even online. They're not even going to bother looking. So make sure that's in order. But when you're ready to go, and a lot of that stuff's free. You don't even have to really pay. You might pay for some graphics. I would make sure before doing any marketing that you have invested into someone who actually knows how to mix a record, good production, make sure the music's right. Then marketing, I mean, I hate to say this, but take away from, you know, how I pay my bills, but I think marketing comes last at the end of the day. You got to make sure the other stuff is right before you can do anything else. So Because if I get sent some half-ass shit, no social media, the mix is rough, the beat's kind of corny, or they're rapping over, 0 to 100 beat 7,000 times. It's like, yo, what am I gonna do with this? Like, it's so much easier for me to hit up my relationships and connections that I've built over 10 years and say, yo, I really believe in this dude. And then some people might argue too, like, oh, well, if you really believe in somebody, why don't you do it for free? There are instances that I do stuff for free, but at the end of the day, it's still time consuming, and you're paying for my time, just like you pay a car mechanic to fix your car. Oh, it took me 3 hours, I get $80 an hour. It still takes time, you know what I mean? So I kind of went off on a tangent here, I think. But if I had to throw out like a ballpark price after you got your stuff mixed right, everything's in order, you got your brand in order, your social media's matched, your designs are looking crisp, you're working on, you're rocking shows, then I would probably, I mean, shit, if you're servicing, say, $300 for a song video, there's $600. Probably say like $1,000 at the minimum. I mean, really, to like, really
For
maybe
one song, correct?
No, I'd say like a song video, maybe like $1,000, package it together, get the artwork done for individuals, the individual things. I mean, if you want to, this is up to you. If you want to get on something like World Star Hip Hop or Vlad TV and you want to pay that money, there's more money. But I'm not believers of those sites. I don't think you need to get on those sites to make it, so-called make it, or really build a career. I think there's other stuff you could be doing. But yeah, I mean, I would say maybe at the minimum, probably like $1,000 if you really wanna get your feet off the ground to even just start. I mean, I don't know how far that's really gonna take you. I mean, I don't think you're gonna get all these blogs and you start blowing up. Unless you have some crazy ass gimmick, like this dude, your old Droog, who sounds like Nas. Did you hear about that whole fiasco? This guy who sounded exactly like Nas, and everyone was saying it's Nas. They just speeded up his voice. If you actually slow down the BPM, the guy sounds like Nas, and he signed to Mass Appeal Records. Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. Nas had to come out.
I just blew your mind. But
No,
what I'm
no.
saying? So someone like that probably, who knows if he even paid any money? You know what I mean? Maybe that was his gimmick, or maybe, who knows? Like, I don't know. There's different scenarios. So, but for someone who's got a decent little fan base, just coming out, really just servicing the first record or video, say at least $1,000, man. That's probably really pushing the envelope. I mean, I work with some clients, and they have budgets of $4,000 or $5,000 a month at times, and different stuff, man. It's they have investors. It's you got to get to that point in your career where you can actually have someone start vouching money for you because they believe in you.
And that's not to discourage artists who don't have money right now.
No, not at all, man. Everybody started from the bottom. No Drake pun intended, but everybody did have to start at the bottom, including myself, man. I was hand-to-hand flyers out at shows in Philly and running around and just doing anything I could, man, I was working for free. I didn't give a shit. Like, you just got to do what you got to do at first, man.
And the thing is, even with money, it's going to take time. Even if you spend $4,000 a month, it's still going to take you a full year before you're really, or longer, before you're really your position is solidified and your relationships are good with these sites and with the online world. Without money, it could take 5 years. You know what I mean? It might not.
I know somebody who spent over $100,000 in a year, man, and now they're not doing music.
That happens too. Well, how was their music? Was it all right? No.
I didn't work with them. I didn't personally. Listen, there's still stuff that I do that I don't have to approve of the actual music, that I actually don't put my name onto, if that makes sense. It's called consulting.
Sure.
So if a whack artist does have a budget and they want me to tell them what I think they should do, I'll, at the end of the day, it's still business. So, I'll tell them. And sometimes that advice was, you shouldn't be rapping. You should be able to take your music and actually, whether it's pitch it to movies and get them in contact with different movie people who can play stuff in TV shows or whatever it is. The guy's actually very successful now. He started producing movies, and that's what I told him from the get-go he needs to be doing. And we still have a great relationship. But I know what he spent and burnt on the music industry, on features, paying for features from big artists. And
that's a whole other can of worms, man. Don't do that. This is a tangent, but please don't do that. Do not blow your budget on features.
You know, the biggest thing that I would say, if an artist doesn't want to throw tons of money into blogs to start out with, is I would put the money into putting together shows and tours. If you want to get the attention of people and try to grow a major fan base that can help you, um, you know, do more with your videos and do more with your records, it's always doing live shows. It comes back to traveling, doing live shows, doing out of town shows, creating an email list, things of that nature. That'll grow your fan base large enough where the blogs have to pay attention, and where they have no choice but to see who you are, because you're drawing traffic without them. So that's my humble opinion. If you're not trying to, go to the blogs or spend money on PR like that, at least put the money towards doing live shows and touring.
Yeah, absolutely. You, at the end of the day, man, you're gonna need money. You have to invest in yourself. I've invested in myself. I'm not even gonna. I'm still digging. People are probably like, oh, this guy must be making mega money. No, I'm still digging myself out of school loans and all the money I invested into this music business myself. Like I'm not at the point in my own career where I want to be, and I'm just being dead honest. You know what I mean? Like, I've had stuff come up in my life, and how the real world is, man. Shit happens, but I'm on the way, and that's you gotta just, if you really believe in yourself and you really love what you're doing, you'll find a way to get by. At the end of the day, you'll make shit work. You won't take no for an answer. I remember my boy Jay Hatt said, I think one of the coolest things to me is, if you want to make it in the music industry, you don't have a plan B. This is it. Like, everyone's just like, well, at least you got a backup plan. No, there is no backup plan. It's like, you either do this or you're going to be homeless, I guess. I don't know. But, I mean, that makes sense. I guess you could argue, too, that it might be a stupid way to look at things. But I guess some people just have that mind frame where it's do or die. And that's, I guess, the mind frame I've always had. It's like, if I have to scrape pennies together, I'm going to make it work. But you got to find creative ways to get shit done, man. Like, build relationships, sincere relationships. People can spot fakes and frauds from a mile away. Some people don't care. They just want to take your money. So.
Well, so I have to find a way to get this thing done, which is the Q&A portion of the show.
Uh-huh. What did Kevin Nottingham just ask?
Kevin Nottingham has a great question. He says, Mike Trampe, I'm such a fan. How do I get my music posted on MikeTrampeTV.com? I'm picturing him asking that question in the Letters to DJ Payne One voice.
No, he's probably over there sipping a freaking Shirley Temple, flipping his hair. Oh, Mike Trampe, I was just wondering if it's like, no, that's my boy, man. Shout out to Kevin Nottingham.
Yeah, that's a great blog too. I mean, when you're talking about websites and blogs that really don't play by the rules of gatekeeping and all that, where you need to spend a whole bunch of money to get posted on there, or you have to be a major artist with a huge buzz. You can be just a solid artist with some good music, and work with Kevin Nottingham. That him and all the people there on staff are I mean, they're one of the first blogs to ever support me and even give me a mention before anybody, before I even had a YouTube account. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. Big shout out to Kevin Nottingham. Let's get into some real questions. This one is from Nick Miller. He says, actually, I'm not going to answer. I'm going to ask this question from Justin.
Come on, man. Why not? What do you call me, asshole or something? It's all good.
No, it's not a question.
I'm trying to moderate here.
I can take it.
Did you say, did I become an asshole?
No, I said, what am I? He called me an asshole or something? It's all good.
No, he didn't call. He calls you a dickhead, but it was. No, I'm playing. It was just a question. I didn't want to get into the order of. I think this one made more sense. So this is from Justin. He says, "What is the most effective way for a new independent artist to follow up a major blog placement?"
Well, that's the issue, I think, right there. I know earlier I just said some artists send us their music, but here's the difference. When I get an email from Saigon, or I get an email from Crooked Eye, or someone like this who has clout in the industry, has paid their dues, have a pretty good, high, successful traffic rate, it's a lot easier to, get that email and, talk to them about whatever they're, hitting us up about. I think with new artists, man, it really... I mean, at least with like HipHopDX or someone who's on like a larger scale, like bigger blogs, who honestly, I know people don't want to hear is, oh, we don't have the time. to listen to every email. Oh, we'll hire 10 more people to listen to them. It doesn't work that way. So not everything is going to get listened to. It's like literally impossible if you knew the amount of work that goes into running a site like HipHopDX on a daily basis. Like it would blow your mind. People think it's easy. So if a new artist is sending music to a blog like that and they don't get a response, I mean, I'm gonna be dead honest. The main reason is probably because the emails aren't being read, or they haven't been able to been opened and listened to. But if you have a respectful person, and it doesn't have to be a PR company, so to speak. Again, these companies claiming they'll guarantee your music on this blog and that blog, or these ones that say pay us $69 to go to 50,000 contacts. It sounds great, but you really got, at the end of the day, like Payne once said earlier, and I always preach this, you got to do research. And then you have to be willing to make sure to invest once everything else is in order. And if it comes from a respected person, you probably won't have to follow up 7 to 8 times out of 10, because the person reaching out for you has that relationship where they don't really have to do a follow-up, because they've built that. I can understand, I don't want to pay for shit like that, But you gotta understand, you're not just paying for, them hopefully getting your shit on some blogs. You're paying when it comes to, like, me, when I do, I don't even like calling them PR campaigns, man. When I do, a content campaign for somebody, you're paying for my 10 years of experience. You're paying for my knowledge. You're paying for, I personally call it expertise. You're paying for my relationships that I've built. So if you don't want to take 10 years and build those relationships, you got to pay somebody who knows what they're doing and really believes in your music. And at the end of the day, I try to build relationships with any client, whether they do a $300 campaign or someone who comes on board and pays $4,000. Obviously, the work hours are going to differentiate, but it's always the same passion, the same vision. So again, if you're sending stuff out to blogs, you're not getting a response, you're probably not going to knock you off your high horse, but you might not get a response if they don't know who you are, or your music might not be good. But I mean, if you want follow up, don't hit them up every day, 6 times a day. Yo, you listen to my shit? Yeah, post my stuff. You might get entertained and get an email back telling you to go fly a kite, and then be like, yeah, I got their attention. But no, trust me, at least with me, I hate people who do that.
Well, here's a good transition point for the next question. This is from Nick Miller. This is the one I didn't ask before, and he says, "Are all of your relationships built online or offline?" I think he's asking, do you do online dating or do you go out and actually meet women?
Actually, I don't. I actually watch a lot of porn, so no.
Well, I mean, you have a relationship with those online streaming services.
Right click.
I think it's a good question. So the second part is, where would you recommend an artist to start? And I know all of us, we might not look like we get out much, but we do get out. And I met you before you started posting my stuff. Both of you, really.
Yeah.
It was a face-to-face meeting. So, and I definitely know how you are, Mike. Maybe you can talk more about it and just give some advice to artists on building relationships with these bloggers and websites and stuff.
Well, it depends on where you live. So, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard if you're out in Idaho and you're rocking out and you're doing your thing. Shout out to any artist who's from Idaho. It's going to be kind of hard unless you're traveling to go and meet most of these bloggers. The majority of them live in New York, LA, Atlanta, Houston, some in Philly, Chicago, the more major cities. So if you can't get out, I mean, you could still get out in your local town if you're an artist. You still put on events. Maybe at first you're not performing, but you start booking bigger artists to come, and then you can kind of slip yourself in there. Or, there's a lot of different things you could do. But, yeah, with me, it's I don't get out as much as I used to. I'm not going to lie. I used to be everywhere and anywhere. You can ask anybody who's in New York every week. I would drive there. I would literally be on no sleep for 2 days. And I think I'm kind of past that stage. I think I've earned, like I said, I've earned my relationships. I've built them over the years. I have experience. And, honestly, I'm getting older, and, I've hopefully a family soon and marriage, and, I got a house, and, it's just, so I'm kind of settling down, but I still get out. You got to get out. You got to show your face. I know a lot of bloggers, personally, that sit on the computer 24/7 and like to, pop off online about stupid stuff, but then you never see these people out. It's just like, how can you be somebody who's representing music and a culture that was like started in the streets. Like you still got to be out there shaking hands and kissing babies. Like you got to have a balance of both. You can't
Yeah,
go
and
heavy.
the
You
big
can't go
block,
heavy
you
in the
see 'em out.
club. What'd you say?
You'll see, the major, like the hip hop DXs and the Two Dope Boys and the DJ booths. You'll see them out.
Yeah.
They actually. I was at a Two Dope Boys event, and I HipHopDX sponsors events as well. So it's great for artists to be on the lookout for those types of events and attend those events, so you can, because I think putting a face. I guess I'll ask you this question, Mike. Are you more, and Shah too, please both of you answer, are you more inclined to post somebody's music that you've met before than
Not necessarily. I mean, I've met a lot of people more than one occasion, and every time it's the same spiel. Gotta fuck with me, dog. I got the new hot shit. You gotta post my music.
Oh, we're talking. You're talking about an asshole.
Yeah, but not even. I mean, dude, sometimes people can have good music and they're assholes, and I try to separate personalities from music because at the end of the day, like, I'm a fan of music, but a lot of people are fans of personalities, hence all the reality shows going on. People want to see people act like idiots. But like I said, that guy who just hit me up and sent me, he's a perfect example. His name's Error, E-R-A. Got a song called Cold Train. It's really dope. And I'm not shouting him out as like a plug. I really thought his stuff was dope, and he's a perfect success story in my opinion. I never met him, but I've met, when I just judged a showcase last month, I got about 15 CDs handed to me. None of them have followed up with me. So I'm not going to chase them down, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, about, putting stuff on the site. They feel like they probably went to the event. Don't be one of them people that goes to events, you hand a CD to a judge or an A&R, and, oh, did my job, got my CD to that person, my shit's dope, they'll call. Nah, man, that's not how it works. So not only do you have to be out doing stuff, you have to, you have to build off of, what you built at the event or you built out wherever you are. You can't just let it stop right there. Same when you get shipped. I'm going on for tangent here, but same as if you get something posted on a blog, especially a blog like HipHopDX, DJ Booth, different places like this, and you get it posted, and you're like, yeah, I'm on HipHopDX, man. I made it. And that's it. Like, you're just, no, you better promote the shit out of that record, and you better not promote it for like a day or two. You better promote the shit for the whole month. And
okay, so here's another great segue.
Did you? Oh.
I'm sorry. This is from Justin, and he wants to clarify his. Why is my webcam doing this? He wants to clarify his. That was kind of cool. He wants to clarify his original question. He says, after being placed on a blog, what is the best way to convert that exposure into traffic to my website?
I'm confused of the question.
So I think he's saying after getting placed on a blog.
Uh-huh.
So you got the placement on the blog. Then what do you do to keep like to draw traffic back to his website, and then also to keep gaining exposure, and keeping it moving?
If you get a post on HipHopDX, why would you want to drive traffic back to your own personal blog? I don't know, I'm confused.
No. I think he's talking about like website, like his personal artist website. Like, okay, cool. He got a place. Say he got a placement on hip hop. Say he got a placement on HipHopDX. But now he wants to make sure that he's getting fans to check out his website and to keep getting placements going further. How does he keep doing
Better
that?
promote the shit out of that record, man. And honestly, at the end of the day, you got dope music, like, and you get on a blog that has that many people. To give you an example, we did 1 million page views yesterday in one day. It's 1 million clicks, coming to the site. So even if you get posted at a certain time, later in the night or whenever traffic like dips a little bit, you're still going to get eyes on you. So if you're getting posted on one of these sites, you probably have somewhat of a good product. So you're going to, no matter what, you're going to get some type of feedback and maybe a little bit of traffic to your name, maybe some people chatting you out on the social media. So you got, again, that's why you got to make sure all your social media is in order. You got to make sure that everything is looking tight, looking right, no sloppy graphics, no... you just got to make sure everything's in order, and you got to promote and work that record. And I'm not talking about go on Twitter and at 1,000 people, yo, check out my new record that's on HipHopDX. Yo, check out my new record that's on HipHopDX. Yo, check it. That's going to get you blocked, and that's probably actually going to piss me off because I run HipHopDX's Twitter. There's different ways of doing it. You can thank HipHopDX. You can say, there's different ways of just going about things. That's probably going to garner my attention, and I will probably retweet. And right there, you're going to retweet it to 300,000 more people. If you really want to take it to the next level, post that shit on your Facebook page. Even if you only got $25, put $25 worth of ad dollars behind that on Facebook. Get the page likes up. We're going to see, damn, this so-and-so dude is getting a little bit of traffic. Who is he? The next time you come around with a song and it's dope again, and we know that you're going to put that work in, you're gonna get that work, and eventually that's going to turn into you building up a fan base. So yeah, I mean that's probably the main way I would go about it if I was an artist and I was getting placements with a couple of these bigger blogs and stuff.
Can I answer the last two questions that we've had? We got
No,
sorry, Shaw.
Damn, that hurt. But okay, to answer this one, the one of the things that I did when and I'm not an artist, but I do interviews with major artists, and of course I want to draw as much traffic as I can for those interviews, not just for my site, Get Your Buzz Up, but overall for the interview, because that allows me to get more interviews as I go. I've interviewed Tech9 like 4 or 5 times, mainly because I have a great relationship with Strange Music, but also I was able to draw traffic to those interviews. And the one thing I did is when they got placed on DX, the person who did the write-up, I actually personally went and thanked them for doing the write-up and introduced myself to them. And I still have a great relationship with at least one of them. So, that's taking the extra step there, because a lot of these writers are on Twitter or they're on Facebook, and just taking the time to thank the person who actually did the write-up goes a long way, and that allows you to build a personal relationship with them, and that can go further.
Yep.
So that's my advice for that one. And then the question before that, whether to get outside or stay inside, outside, Mike touched on it. The way I started, I started booking shows, and I booked a lot of national acts, and it paid off for me because I was looking for national acts that weren't on yet. Like when I booked Wiz Khalifa, Black and Yellow didn't even drop yet, and at that time the show sold out and it sold 4,000 tickets, and it was his biggest show to that date by himself. And since then, I got a great relationship with Taylor Gang, and of course, I was always out. And then also because I was booking so many shows, it allowed me to get a relationship with Mike Trampe and Jay Hatch, because they were looking to do an event in my area. They reached out to the one person they know, which was Payne. Payne told them about me. Boom, made the relationship. And now I'm a lot like my family, stay inside more, still get out, but not as much as I want to. So you definitely gotta do both. It doesn't matter what you do. And if you're if you're in Idaho, make the connections with the people that are actually doing something, and then try to build your network in that area, because you never know who might know them or who they might know in a different area, and you never know who travels through there. Everybody goes on tours, and they always want to hit a new market. Like I'm a tour manager, and I do that. When I hit the road, I met a couple dope artists, and then I know Mike said it doesn't really matter if he meets an artist or not. I would agree with that to a certain extent, but if I see an artist on stage and he puts on a dope show,
absolutely,
I'm approaching him. I'm getting his contact info. Here's mine. I'm looking for his content. I want to post his music on Get Your Buzz Up. I want to see what he can do, and then if he shares it and likes it, I mean, anybody that runs a site or has access to a website can see the stats, can see what the artist is doing, can see if the artist is generating any traffic, and if they're putting in the work, then yeah, I'll go the extra mile all the time, and then interviews follow up, and so on and so on and so on. So it's great. It's most definitely great to do both, and yeah.
Well, it's great having you on the show, Shaw. I appreciate you coming on and talking to us about marketing. Let's get to the next guest. It's like, no.
All right, we'll have time for 2 more questions quickly.
Why do we only have time for 2 more questions quickly?
Well, because we're beyond Scott. I mean, we can keep going. I forgot. Yeah, you watch porn. Shah's married. I date online. So
No, I mean, I'm not saying I'm trying to be on here for 2 more hours, but I mean, we don't. I mean, if there's a couple more, I don't mind answering them real quick. Not a big deal.
okay, so check this one out. This is from Slice Lucas. His question is: are there any blogs/websites that cater more towards producers and beat makers?
Well, I don't know about what blogs there are specifically, but obviously the two that stick out to me that I've worked with previously is iStandard, which is more of like a producer hub to upload your beats to try to get placements. Their showcases, but just good people to know overall. The second is BeatStars.com, great place to sell beats. Artists can buy beats. A lot of cool contests they have on. Obviously, they have an awesome Facebook page because I was part of that. So great, cool community. But I mean, there's a lot of forums and stuff like that. Like, do people really underestimate the power of forums and stuff like that to really build relationships and learn different things and interact with people? I mean, at least I do when it comes to hip hop. I don't really attack the producer forums like that, but I know there's stuff out there like that. I don't know, Pain One, you're the producer, man. Are there any blogs that just post like MikeTrampeTV? You sent us an instrumental project, it's dope. Like I said, we really don't post albums like that. We try to steer away from that because we're really trying to break artists on like a single level, and then if it's dope, we'll follow up with a full project once we see that there's a fan base for it, and you know it's earned the right, in my opinion. I don't have problems with doing producer EPs or albums because I just think it brings a different vibe. So you can send me stuff for that, but I mean, Payne, I'm sure you have to know of a blog that's just nothing but producers. I don't. Is there anything like that? I don't even know.
Yeah, I would say God Instrumentals, definitely.
Okay.
That's a website. As far as blogs go, Kevin Nottingham is very supportive of producers, and he has quite a bit of content that's producer centered. So check Slice, man. Check out KevinNottingham.com.
Dude, you just gave me actually a really good idea. I think I'm gonna make a producers only section for my blog, and take out one of the other like Salty Mike section that I still haven't filled on yet.
What you did, Slice.
Salty Mike is supposed to be a section where I just bitched and complain about everything, but I don't think I'm going to do that anymore.
Well, we'll have you on our next show, and you can have a Salty Mike section here on the news.
Exactly.
I don't know, Shah, do you have any insight into that? Would you post?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's not our main focus, but yeah, we put up instrumental EPs and instrumental albums and mixtapes, and we've supported producers in the past. We're all about indie, unsigned, underground artists, and most producers are unsigned, so we love it when producers send us projects and do things. So I mean, yeah, just.
All right, I'm gonna answer this next question. It's in all caps, and it's directed at me, so I better answer it. It's DJ Payne One. What is it you use to promote your FB page? I don't really understand the question, but I don't use anything to promote my. Well, I don't know. I go on YouTube and give away free stuff, and then say come to my Facebook page and get more free stuff. That's how I promote it.
You can hire Mike Trampe to give you a social media consultation, and I will tell you what to do to promote your Facebook page because I have nothing but success. There you go. There's my ad.
Yeah, do some money with Mike Trampe within 5 days. You'll be signed to Def Jam.
Yeah, there you go.
What is that? What are you plugging?
You see the book?
I gave Shah, or no, I didn't give you that. You read that.
No, you told me about it.
Yeah. I was about to say
what I about this book.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would still hire Mike because then he tells you what other books to get and stuff like that.
I'm about to write my own book, man, on some real shit. I just got to find a publisher. I don't really know the whole book game like that, so I'm in. See, there's always, you guys. That's what people gotta understand, man. There's always going to be something you are going to learn. You are never going to know it all. Everyday approach life is something. Okay, today I'm gonna accomplish this. Today I'm gonna, read up on this. Every day I try to learn something I don't know, and it's not even necessarily about the music industry. It's about people in general, how to deal with certain people, how to deal with, you know what I mean? There's all sorts of different personalities in the music business. It's just continue to learn, man. Don't just stay flat and doing nothing, and just continue to learn, read, watch shit like this. I mean, there might be something we said here that you had no idea about, or you might know everything. I don't know, but I love listening to stuff like that, even if I'm not speaking, because I always learn from people. So.
Do you have, Mike? Do you have much experience with, we're talking about marketing
Hmm.
on online platforms, blogs, and websites. Do you have any insight into print media?
Um, uh, what print media? No,
I guess in terms,
the
hip hop.
print. No, I mean like the print game's pretty fucked up right now, man. From to my knowledge, I mean it's obviously when sites like Double XL, The Source are really pushing a lot of content more online, and I think their total volume of prints have gone down. And I could be wrong, but I mean from what I've read in the past, I've never worked in print, so I can't really say to be honest. But I mean it's just I love the idea of print because I like holding something physically in my hand and having it than reading something online and I bookmarked it. Like it doesn't feel as real to me, just like getting a real CD or a vinyl or something. So and I grew up on print. I mean, I grew up on the source. So, but I really don't have any insight on it. But to my knowledge, and I know people work at all these companies. And I got nothing but respect for them. But I see a lot of people pushing like, pay this money and you'll get in the source. Pay this money, you'll get in Double XL. And so obviously, if they're doing those types of things, to me, that tells me that they're struggling print wise. And it also tells me that the artists are idiots because there's a difference for paying for somebody extending your content out on a genuine, real basis and really helping you build your brand and trying to get you organic results because that's actually like work being put in compared to paying somebody to just print something to be done with it. If that makes sense. I feel like there's no point of that because at the end of the day, what does that get you? Like, you paid somebody to print something of you. I mean, yeah, some people might read it, so yeah, you might get that exposure, but that actual magazine or blog, if you pay for it, like, they don't really fuck with you. Like, they fuck with your money.
Yeah, I think the difference is going to be that one is it's a one-time thing, whereas if you're building a genuine following through super hard work rather than just paying for a one-off little piece of exposure.
I mean, why do you think, like, people who have a pretty big following, like, I don't know who I can think of. They're not M&Ms, but like someone like Freddie Gibbs or someone like I don't know who else. Someone like, say, Troy Ave. I mean, I'm sure all these guys have somebody that they pay. They might not be Joe Schmo at the biggest PR firm down in New York who charge them $6,000 a month, but it might be somebody that they have a good bonded relationship with that they built and they trust because they know that person's going to bust their ass for their music because they believe in the music, but they also believe in paying that person because they know they're putting that time in, and they don't have that time as an artist because they have other stuff to focus on. So I mean, if I was an artist, there are the type of relationships I would go for. Like, I don't really see the point of paying for like print magazines and getting. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know the reach of these magazines anymore. What the success rate of, like, has anybody actually done that and benefited from it?
Yeah, I know artists that did it and got a call from Lenny over at Def Jam and had a meeting with Def Jam strictly off that, plus World Star, of course. But it's it's hit or miss. You got to have the music to follow it up. It's like anything else, and I'm always the first one to say you're better off building an organic following. Like
Yeah,
I'm all about shows and touring and
absolutely.
everything organic because your fans will stay more loyal. And I mean, I always bring up the Rhyme Sayers of Strange Music. You look at those two labels. They based it off that touring and creating organic fan base. It's always better.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, there's a big difference in spending money with people you want to break bread with and see an investment in the spending money. If you're spending money for people to fuck with you, it's not a good look. If you're spending money with people who already fucked with you before the money, I mean, that makes more sense. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, I see people all the time, like, just trying to fork over cash. Like, they don't even want to build a relationship. Like, yo, I need this on here. I should pay $1,000. It's just like, why? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that mind state. It's like, wouldn't you rather build with somebody who actually genuinely cares about you as a brand and music that you could break bread with, and like they're trustworthy, and like you really know that your money's going to somebody who's going to work for you, compared to just paying somebody off the strength of who you think they might be or who they might know. Like, I don't know. it's a sensitive topic, I guess.
Here's another sensitive topic, because I've noticed there are a lot of emerging blogs now that, generally the blogs are just kind of untouchable. They have their submissions email, and I'm saying this from the perspective of an artist, not from someone who's behind the veil like Shah and Mike are. But it does sometimes feel that these blogs are untouchable. You reach out to them, you never hear back from them. It is what it is. That's just the game. But now there's this new emerging generation of blogs and websites that right on the website will say, you can submit your music to us, or you can pay $20, $50, $75, and it's guaranteed that you'll get on our site. Have you seen a lot of that happening now, and what do you think artists should be wary of before doing that? Because I've talked to a lot of artists who are now very interested in that, simply because they're frustrated because they're not getting on All Hip Hop and HipHopDX, which to me is unrealistic. You're not going to do it because you don't have the fans. But paying to get on these small mid-level blogs, what's some advice you would give to an artist considering that?
This shit is stupid to me, man. Like, I mean, I understand. Listen, I understand why. Listen, I have the pleasure of being able to run my own blog right now, just for fun, and not chart and not do stuff like that, because I am successful in other things I'm doing in the music industry, and I'm able to work from a home office and travel and pretty much do what I want to do for the most extent. Now, a lot of these blogs, these people don't. They have full-time jobs. They might have 2 jobs. They might work, overnight somewhere, or who knows. So they want to transition from getting out of these jobs and being a blogger or website owner full-time. So they're not getting tons of traffic. They're probably making $100 a month, if that, from Google Ads. They're, it's a struggle. So how else are they going to be able to make money? Perfect. They get all these submissions. Even though some of the shit sucks, they can start charging people. I get it. I understand why they do it, but I don't agree with it, because at the end of the day, it's only going to lower the standards of your blog, because people talk, man. Trust me. People talk. It's a very small industry. We know who's charging, who's not charging. We don't respect people who do that. Personally, I don't, at least. And at the end of the day, like, I mean, it'd be slightly different if these blogs are like, okay, we'll listen to the music. Then, if it's dope, we'll post it. You pay, and then we'll promote it for a week on social media, and we'll, I don't know, do something else. Is that still right? I still don't think that's really 100% right, but it's still better than saying just submit your shit and pay, and we'll post it. Like, that's pretty much saying we don't care about the content. We don't care about having any type of standards. We just want your money. So, like, I don't know, why would you want to pay something like that? It goes back to me saying, try to, like, your music, everything's got to be in line. Your music's got to be dope. Try to build a relationships with the people who generally care. You got to do your research. You got to find out who's who. And they'll probably, eventually, if things work out, they'll probably get you further than you paying all these little no-name blogs or medium blogs for posts. I just don't see the value in it.
And the other thing is, a lot of artists don't do their research, and one of the best tools, as far as I'm concerned, for blog and website research for an artist are these traffic estimator sites out there. I use StatShow.com a lot just to check out these blogs. And
they're not 100% accurate, though, just to let you know. But
no, they're not.
But you can still use them.
Yeah, well, they're estimators, so they give you an idea of how much traffic a website is getting, and then you can at very least compare. You can compare a HipHopDX with a GetMyBuzzUp.com, not GetYourBuzzUp.com, and you'll see there's a big difference. Sorry, I had to talk about that.
All right.
Do you know about GetMyBuzzUp.com, Mike?
I know all about it. bunch of frauds, man. It's crazy.
Not to be confused with Shah's website, GetYourBuzzUp.com. I can't even load GetMyBuzzUp.com because there are too many advertisements on it. But
wait, say that again.
My computer. I don't think we need to give them any more airtime. But check it out. Try some of these traffic estimators too, and just see. If a website has an estimated viewership of 50 a day, you probably don't want to spend money getting on that site. That seems like a waste.
I don't think you, even if they're doing decent traffic, you should pay. I don't know, man. I'm just against that. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's against my morals. There's nothing wrong with getting on 10 smaller websites, man, and blogs, because at the end of the day, it's still increasing your SEO, search engine optimization. It's still increasing, like, yourself in Google. You're still going to be shit popping up if someone searches your name. And a lot of these smaller blogs too are just like you. They're trying to come up just like you. So why not come up with the people trying to come up? And you never know who they might end up being.
Yeah, but don't pay for it.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's blogs there's tons, like, example, my blog, Shaw. There's tons of different blogs out there, and I'm not afraid to say that we're still small. We do, on our highest day we did 10,000 views in a day, but on the average day we do about 500 views, a little bit more. Sometimes we do 1,000. I mean, we're still a very small blog. We're still growing. We don't have a staff. We do what we can just because we want to post the shit what we like. But there's a lot of blogs out there who are like that. They might not have a huge fan base now, but and
even smaller, but they do appreciate
the music, exactly. And it's still going to serve a purpose. Like I said, it's still going to serve a purpose when someone searches your name and stuff comes up. It's better than nothing coming up, or you having one post on DJ Vlad that you paid $150, $250 to get your video on, and nobody watched it, and that's all you have up there. But you know what I mean, like.
And the cool thing about these small blogs is you can grow with them, and
exactly,
and they're responsive too. You talk to the person who I'll give a shout out to Hip Hop Herald, for example. They're a smaller site, emerging definitely, and they interviewed me, and now next thing I know they're doing video interviews with freshman XXL cover rappers. Video interviews on YouTube. So now the traffic is going back to their site, and I'm on there. So it's a win-win because I have a relationship with them. So yeah, my advice, and I have a video out there talking about promoting music online that I put up like a year or two ago. It was be realistic and start with some of these small blogs and work your way up to the HipHopDXs and to the, all hip hops.
So hold on real quick, Shot. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go on my homie. I think you know him, Payne, too. His name's Proverb. On Twitter, his name's P the Wise at PPATWYSE. I think that's it. If you can put it in the chat box for everybody, he has he's a real cool dude, man. He's actually gonna be writing some stuff for MikeTrampeTV, but he has lists of small blogs, medium blogs, large blogs, and he has like other lists for like blogs that are guaranteed to post your music, blogs that probably will post your music. It's really cool, some of the stuff he does, and it's just all it is basically like a directory. He saves all the work for you. You can literally just copy and paste everything and build it off of that. Definitely check him out.
Yeah, it's praverb.net, or you can hit him up on Twitter at PTHEWYSE.
Yeah, real good dude, man. Really cares about the artist and the music. He's a good dude, man. So sorry, Shaw. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna say, like, just network with different bloggers or people that run the sites. Like, we're not, like Mike said, we both run sites that aren't like, neither one of our sites are HipHopDX or draw the traffic that HipHopDX. Not even a quarter of what they draw in. But it's once you make that connection, if we, like Mike said, he comes across a dope artist. Mike's told me about dope artists that he's liked before, and it's nothing. We all share content. Like if we know each other, then we share content, or we say, hey, check out this artist or something like that. So if you make a connection with a couple of us, more than likely you can get your name out there to others. And at least if you tell me, if you send me your music and I start researching you and I see that you've been on MikeTrampeTV, then I might reach out to Mike and say, okay, hey, what do you know about this artist and what can you tell me? And then we kind of go from there. So it's, a lot of us are connected in different ways and know each other, so it's better just to make that one connection.
At the end of the day, the biggest marketing tool in the world is still the same, and it will always be the same, and it will never change, and I don't care what anybody ever tells you. Word of mouth. Remember that. Shout out to Shaw's wifey in the background.
And on that note, we want to thank Mike Trampe from MikeTrampeTV.com for checking in with us tonight and sharing all this information. Mike, how can the people find you? Now it feels like a coast-to-coast live showcase.
DJ Payne One, man. Shout out, man. Gmail, Facebook, Twitter. Holla at the people, man. Just let them know how they can get in touch with you, man. What you working on? No, I'm killing Shal over there, man. You can get at me on Twitter, MikeTrampeTV, MikeTrampetV. It's right below here on my name. I'll be like Rob, right here, right there, right there. Yeah, that's my Twitter. Facebook is the same thing. The site obviously is MikeTrampeTV. Hit me up on my email. It's Mike, M-I-K-E, at MAAD Management. It's spelled M-A-A-D management.com. Mike at MAAD Management, 2 A's. You can check out MAADmanagement.com as well. Like I said, we do a lot of social media consulting and online marketing, a blog outreach, producer and artist consultations, and producer management and placements and stuff like that. Yeah, man. That's what I do. You can obviously follow us on HipHopDX too. I'm on their social media all day, every day. So if you see somebody acting a fool, that's probably me, but it's all love.
Yeah, you posted that photo, that Photoshop picture where I put Shah's head on Big Pun's body, and that went viral.
Yeah, I did.
That went nuts. That went nuts.
I actually thought that was really Big Pun until you told me.
Yeah, people weren't happy about that, and I thought it was just, this funny thing, because everyone says he looks like Big Pun, and next thing you know, you got people trying to burn him at the stake on Facebook.
Yeah, they thought I really tattooed my hand. Like, look at my hand. There's no Big Pun on my hand. They actually thought that I did that and went that far with it. It was crazy. It was.
That's the power of the internet, man. The ignorance spreads everywhere and fast.
Crazy. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Thank you.
I saw a question in the box real quick. Someone asked me how many submissions we get. I'll answer it real quick for them. I mean, personally, a week, I probably get to my Mike and MAAD Management, probably like 100, 150 a week. DX, it's that a day, 2 times it by 7, so like 800 a week. Which I manage a lot of the emails for DX, so it's, you're talking about 1,000 emails a week, man, and that's not exaggeration at all. So
how about you, Shah? How many do you get?
A week, probably a couple, 200 to 300 a week, probably. On a good week right now, our inbox is pretty full. We're having a tough time keeping up. It seems we've been working really hard at getting the traffic up, so it's paying dividends and making us work a lot harder around the clock. So right now I would say a strong 200 a week is what we're getting.
So before we end this broadcast, how do people go about adding themselves to that list of 200 that are submitting music to getyourbuzzup.com?
Oh, just go to just send the music to blog.getyourbuzzup@gmail.com, and we go through our submissions, and the cool thing with us is we all have different tastes in music, and so I don't want to limit what they post. So it's just basically whatever one of us likes or a couple of us likes, we send us videos, mixtapes, music, and yeah. And then go to getyourbuzzup.com and just click on the submissions. We have a full list of what you have to send, what we want, and go from there.
Word.
Yeah, and also check out my site, www.nowright.com. I'm playing. That's a big site.
You ain't SK, dog. Come on.
No, hey, but shout out to nowright.com. They've been a big supporter of my music over the years.
Yeah, dude, they're a super dope blog. They're actually probably one of my favorite blogs out.
Yep. Absolutely. So shout out to everyone that tuned in. We'll be back for more Q&A with more relevant topics for the DIY new music industry. My name is DJ Payne One. Shout out to Mike Trampe for joining us, my co-host Shah, and
Mr.
we'll
Get
be
Your
back.
Buzz Up. Follow me at Mr. Get Your Buzz Up.
Yeah.
Follow him at MikeTrampeTV.
Yeah.
You changed your username, right? It's at MikeTrampeTV now, right?
Yeah. I got one new follower and one person who told me I was really smart, so I feel good about myself now.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, you can follow me at DJ Payne One on Twitter. You can tell me I'm smart as well. I promise you I'll retweet it. And on that note, much success to all the artists tuning in. We wish you the best. Tune in next time. We'll let you know when the next time is. Have a good night. Peace.